by Oscar Wilde. Every afternoon, as they were coming home from school, the children used to play in the giant's garden. It was a large, lovely garden with soft green grass. Here and there stood beautiful flowers like stars, and there were 12 peach trees that in the springtime broke into delicate blossoms of pink and pearl. And in the autumn bore rich fruit. The birds sat on the trees and sang so sweetly that the children used to stop their games, to stop and listen. How happy we are here, they cried to each other.
One day the giant came back from visiting his friend the Cornish ogre, and when he arrived, he saw the children playing in the garden. "What are you doing here?" he cried in a very gruff voice, and the children ran away. "My own garden is my own garden," said the giant. "Anyone can understand that, and I will allow nobody to play in it but myself."
So he built a high wall around it and put up a notice board. He was a very selfish giant. The poor children now had nowhere to play, and they stood outside the high wall and talked about the beautiful garden inside. Then the spring came. Only in the garden of the selfish giant it was still winter. The birds did not sing in it as there were no children. The flowers did not bloom, and the trees forgot to blossom.
Only the snow and the frost were pleased. "Spring has forgotten this garden," they cried, "so we will live here all the year round." The snow covered up the grass with her weird white cloak, and the frost painted all the trees silver. Then they invited the north wind to stay with them. He came wrapped in coats and rode all the day about the garden, and blew the chimney pots down.
"This is a dreadful spot," he said. "We must ask the hail on a visit." So the hail came. Every day for 3 hours he rattled on the roof of the castle till he broke most of the slates, and then ran round the garden as fast as he could go. He was dressed in grey, and his braid was like ice. "I cannot understand why the spring is so late in coming," said the selfish giant, as he looked out his cold white garden. "I hope there will be a change in the weather."
But the spring never came, nor the summer. The autumn gave golden fruit to every garden, but to the giant's garden she gave none. "He is too selfish," she said. So it was always winter there, and the north wind, and the hail, and the frost, and the snow fancied about through the
One morning the giant was lying awake in bed when he heard some lovely music. It was only a little linnet singing outside his window, but it was so long since he had heard a bird sing in his garden that it seemed to him to be the most beautiful music in the world. Then the hail stopped dancing over his head, and the north wind ceased roaring, and a delicious perfume came to him through the open casement. "I believe the spring has come at last," said the giant, and he jumped out of the bed and looked out. What did he see?
Saw and most a wonderful sign. Through a little hole in the wall, the children had crept, and they were sitting in the branches of the trees. In every tree that he could see, there was a little child. And the trees were so glad to have children back again that they had covered themselves with blossoms, and were waving their arms gently above the children's heads.
Only in one corner it was still winter. It was the farthest corner of the garden, and in it was standing a little boy. He was so small that he could not reach up to the branch of the tree, and he was wandering all around it, crying bitterly. The poor tree was still kept covered with frost and snow, and the north wind, it climbed up, little boy, said the tree, and it bent its branch down as low as it could. but the boy was so tiny to reach.
The giant's heart melted as he looked out. How selfish I have been, he said. No, I know why the spring will not come here. I will put that poor little boy on the top of the tree, and then I will knock down that wall, and my garden shall be the children's. Play on forever. He was really very sorry for what he had done.
So he crept downstairs and went out into the garden. But when the children saw him there were so frightened that they all ran away, and the garden became winter again. Only the little boy did not run, for his eyes were so full of tears that he did not see the giant coming. The giant stole up behind him and took him handily in his hands and lifted him into the tree. The three broke hats once into blossom, and the birds came and sang on it. And the little boy flung his arms around the giant's neck and kissed him. And the other children, when they saw that the giant was not wicked any longer, came running back, and with them came the spring.
It is your garden now, little children, said the giant, and he took a great axe and knocked down the wall. When the people were going to market at 12 o'clock, they found the giant playing with the children in the most beautiful garden they had ever seen. All day long they played, and in evening they came to the giant to bid him goodbye.
Where's your little companion? He said, the boy I put into the tree. We don't know, and where the children. He has gone away. You must tell him to be sure and come here tomorrow, says Giant. But the children say that they didn't know where he lived and had never seen him before, and the giant felt very sad because he loved him best.
Every afternoon when school was over, the children came and played with the giant. But the little boy whom the giant loved was never seen again. The giant was very kind to all the children, yet he longed for his first little friend, and often spoke of him. Years went by, and the giant grew very old and feeble. He could not play about anymore, so he sat in a chair and watched the children at their games and admired his garden. I have many beautiful flowers, he said, but the children are the most beautiful flowers of all.
One morning he looked out of his window and rubbed his eye in wonder, for there in the farther corner of the garden was a tree quite covered with lovely white blossoms. Its branches were all golden, and silver fruit hung down from there. And underneath it stood the little boy he had loved.
In great joy, the giant ran out into the garden. But as he came closer to the child, his face grew red with anger. He said, who had dared to find thee? From the palms of the child's hands were the prints of 2 nails, and the prints of 2 nails were on the little feet.
Who had dared to warn me? Cried the giant. Tell me, that I may take my big sword and slay him. Nay, answered the child, but these are the words of love.
Who are you? Said the giant, and a strange away fell from me. and he came before the light child. And the child smiled on the giant and said to him, "You let me play once in your garden. Today you shall come with me to the garden. White is paradise." And when the children ran in the afternoon, they found the gigant, lying dead under the tree, all covered with white blossom.
You shall come with me to my garden, which is paradise. Thank you.